everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing a Guilds of Ravnica competitive sealed league. So they don't have drafts up yet, so I figured why don't we do some sealed? And it looks like they already have our rares sorted for us, which is nice, convenient, of course. So perfect. Let's take a look at our rares. So we've got some fixing here with the Overgrown Tomb. Ionize. Counter target spell. Ionize deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. Unfortunately, not that impressive, although in sealed, counter spells are probably pretty good. Gruesome Menagerie. Choose a creature card with converted mana cost 1 in your graveyard, then do the same for creature cards with converted mana cost 2 and 3. Return those cards to the battlefield. So you can return up to 3 cards from your graveyard to your battlefield, but they have to be 1, 2, 3. I mean, you can, any combination of those 3. Chromatic Lantern, which is some fixing and ramp. Blood Operative, which is a 3-mana 3/1 lifelinker, and when enters, exile a card in a graveyard, and when you surveil, if it's in your graveyard, you can pay 3 and return it to your hand. Not blown away by any of these. And then we have Chance for Glory as a mythic. Creatures you control gain indestructible. Take an extra turn after this one. At the beginning of that turn's in step. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we got robbed. This is not the rares we want to see. Wow. Pretty unhappy with the rares and the mythic. That's all right. Why don't we take a look at our uncommons next? So Affectionate Indrik is a good one. 6 mana 4/4, and then it comes in and fights something. So body plus kill something. Very good. We can sort by color now that we've seen how awful our rares are. So, well, looks like we have a lot of the Izzet tribe. What else do we have? A couple Centaur Peacemakers. Not exactly what you want. I guess if you're playing against aggro, it's not bad. Erstwhile Trooper 2. Discard a creature card and it gets +2 and +2 and trample, but you can only do it once a turn. It's okay. What's this? Darkblade Agent, 3 mana 2/3. As long as you surveil, that has Death Touch, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. That card's pretty good, actually. Artful Takedown. Tap target creature, and target creature gets -2/-4. Until end of turn, you can do both. Also, pretty good, especially at instant speed. So, let's go through color by color now. Unfortunate that our rares are so unexciting. I think Gird for Battle is good. 2 +1/+1 counters. You need 2 creatures. Or put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. So it has to be 2 separate creatures, but 1 mana. That card is certainly playable. Hunted Witness. When it dies, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. Certainly playable. Not nearly as good as the doomed whatever from Innistrad that gives you a 1/1 flyer. That Wayfarer, doomed Wayfarer, that's much better than Hunted Witness, I would say. Righteous Blow, certainly playable, kills things. Take Heart, +2/+2 until end of turn, and you gain 1 life for each attacking creature you control. It's a 1 mana trick, certainly playable as well. 10th District Guard, not that exciting, but it's a bear, so we can say it's playable. Blade Instructor, Mentor card, works well with our 10th District Guard. Definitely playable. Mentor is good. Luminous Bond we know is good. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have had this up a while ago. Yep. Preview pane. Really? Interesting. We'll pause while, I guess, the software figures out how to put a preview pane up. Alright, I think the computer's figuring it out. Got Candlelight Vigil here. So that's just an aura, +3/+2, and vigilance. Aura is usually not good, but we'll consider it. This card's cool. This card's good. This card is just straight up really good, actually. Attacks Pump Team and includes itself. That's really good. So I like the unicorns a lot. Got 2 of them as well. Restore, 6 mana 3/4 Convoke, and you gain 4 life. Definitely good. And then Flight of Equinox. Actually, all of our white looks pretty reasonable. I have no problem with any of the white cards, really. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to find anything super exciting, mostly because, once again, our rares are pretty bad. Maximum altitude. Yeah, definitely it's got Jumpstart. Disdainful Stroke, probably much more playable in Sealed than in Draft. So I like this card. This card's great. Flyer, and you get to surveil each turn if you attack with it. Really good. Pass Wall Adept. Yeah, definitely a good card. Make your stuff unblockable and win. Radical Idea. It's playable. I would say it's a pretty easy card to cut. If you have a lot of self-mill, I mean, it's kind of a cool card to just put in the graveyard off a surveil. You know, it becomes like basically a draw card effect. Not really, I guess, because you have to discard a card to do it, but convert a land into draw a card, so not bad. Unexplained Disappearance, definitely good. Demure Informant. Yep, both of these. All the surveil we could ask for. Guild Summit. Tap any number of untapped gates you control. Draw a card for each gate tapped this way. Whenever a gate enters battlefield under your control, draw a card. How many gates do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is yet another one of these, huh? 5. Oh, 6. 6 gates. Cool, another little gate. Definitely, well, yeah, with 6, probably good enough, actually. Plus, we have quite a few color consistency there on our gates, surprisingly. Boros Locket. Lockets are, honestly, probably not that good. Okay, if you're on the color. I can't imagine they're great. Maybe there's better ones. They're all draw 2 cards. They're all right. Currently not blown away by the Lockets, but we'll have to see. Leapfrog, flying as long as you've cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn. I like that a lot. Capture Sphere, yep, definitely good. It's got flash as well. Instant speed blue removal, as it turns out, very good. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this is a cool card, actually, too. I like it. Devious Cover-Up. Counter spell if it's exiled, exile, or if it's countered this way, exile instead of putting in the graveyard, shuffle up to 4 target cards from your graveyard into your library. So, if you're ending up surveilling too much and milling yourself out, you can get it all back. This card's great. Watch for the miss. So our blue looks very good too. A little hesitant about the Guild Summit, but I would say our blue definitely looks better than our white, but our white looks pretty good too. Black is already off to a good start. 2 Deadweights, pretty phenomenal card. Pilfering Imp, 1 mana 1/1 flyer, and you can sack it and make them discard. That's good. No complaints there. Only at sorcery speed? Yeah, makes sense. Otherwise it'd be too good. Burglar Rat. Yeah. Make your opponent discard. You get a body. Probably good if you have quite a bit of equipment. Or if you have auras even, it's even good with auras. Severed Strands. Sack a creature. Good with this card, I'm sure. You gain life equal... Yeah, so Severed Strands and Burglar Rat would be cards that really love each other as well. Mephitic Vapors. Probably more of a sideboard card since that effect is not insane, especially since it's not one-sided, but it's got Surveil too, so probably okay. Never Happened. More of a sideboard card. Blood Operative, definitely playable. Not blown away by it though. Bartizan Bats. Yep, it's got flying, 3 power. We'll play it. Moodmark Painter. Kind of a cool card. I like that it gives menace and pumps. It's kind of a good finisher. It's a good late game effect. Dowser of Lights, 5 mana 4/5. Not exciting, but playable. And then Gruesome Menagerie. Well, we do have some Pilfering Imps, a Burglar Rat, and a Blood Operative, so I suppose we could consider it. And depending on whatever our second color is. So I guess so far, at least our commons, and as far as uncommons and commons go, we're not looking bad. It's mostly just the rares that were not blowing me away. Torch Courier, not really feeling that. Electrostatic Field, actually kind of a cool card if you had enough instants and sorceries to support it, since it also blocks. Maniacal Rage, much more of a aggro card. Smelt Ward, Minotaur. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, target creature can't block. Yes, not bad. I mean, can already see it kind of synergizing with our blue spells that do a similar thing. Give us effects off of instants and sorceries. Rubble Belt Boar pumps. It's a hill giant that pumps something. Certainly playable. Barging Sergeant. Yep, I like it. It's got Mentor. It's got haste. Command the Storm. 5 damage to a creature at instant speed. Yes. Kills things. Book Devourer. 6 mana, 4/5 Trampler, and when it deals damage to a player, you can discard all the cards in your hand if you want, and then draw that many cards. Yeah, not bad. Not insane, but it has Trample too, so I like it. Okay. Trying to rank our colors so far, I'm kind of feeling the black, only because we have kind of low curve utility with rares going. Like a lot of cheap removal, cheap flyers that can double as discard. Not bad. Let's see our green. Sack a creature with Defender, draw a card. So, actually not bad, since it can just sack itself, or other things, maybe. This effect is typically pretty good. Like, it's overpriced to pump it, but it's also just a bear early, so that is actually good. Iron Shell Beetle. Yeah, I like this effect. It's a bear at worst, and at best it kind of pumps something else, so I like it. Urban Utopia. If you're playing 3+ color, this is totally playable. It replaces itself and then makes one of your lands be able to fix. So I imagine that's good in certain decks. When Generous Stray enters the battlefield, draw a card. Yeah, body plus draw is good. Hitchclaw Recluse, 3 mana, 1/4 Spider. Not insanely good, but playable. Okapi, 3 mana, 3/2 Vigilance. Don't really like 3/2s all that often. I can't imagine this card's that great. Forager, 5 mana, 4/4 Undergrowth, and you gain life for each creature card in your graveyard. Playable, not very exciting. Affectionate Indrik is definitely good. Vigor Spore Worm is 6 mana, 6/4, and when it enters the battlefield, target creature gains Vigilance and +X/+X for X number of creature cards in your graveyard, and it can't be blocked by more than one creature. I like that card quite a bit. And then Siege Worm, 7 mana, 5/5 Trampler with Convoke. Alright. Kind of not blown away by green, so so far it kind of looks like, whoops, our black and our blue might be the best. So let's take a look at all of our multicolor cards here. So we already saw these two. I'm not sure if we have enough. I mean, it's a 2/3, so you play it anyway, but we're not going to be able to consistently hit that ability. Artful Takedown is definitely good. Beam Splitter Mage. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Beam Splitter Mage, if you control one or more other creatures that spell could target. Okay. Choose one of those creatures, copy it. Okay, so it's like buff spells can copy and hit one other creature. Not bad, not exciting either. Goblin, Electromancer we've seen before. Pretty good. Ionize. Not exciting, but playable because I assume people are going to be playing some big fat rares, as they usually do in Sealed. Dragonauts rather are a pretty good card, actually. And Hypothesize. Draw 2, and you can discard a non-land, and then you can kill something. Definitely good. You have to discard a non-land to do it, but that's still very good. So then we have the Erstwhile Troopers, which we already looked at. Not blown away by it, but especially since it's a creature card, yeah. Not that good, I'm afraid. Chance for Glory, too much of a liability, I think. I guess your creatures get permanent indestructible, which is actually kind of cool. That is actually kind of cool, but it still seems like too much of a liability to me. And then we have the Peacemakers, which are 3/3s, and we have the 6 Gate, so yeah, we have this as well. So switch the power and toughness of each of up to 2 target creatures, or search your library for an instant card and or sorcery card, reveal and put them in your hand. So, and that's instant speed. That's actually that's a good effect. That is good. And invert is good too. That's actually just legit. Now we've got the Glaive of the Guild Pact, which with 6 Guild Gates is probably good enough to play. Vigilance and Menace with Pump is a nice ability mashup. Okay, so we would probably play all of our gates, and blue-black would appear to be, and with these 3 guild gates too, we could pretty easily splash. What I like is that we could pretty easily splash the green card that fights too, which I'd probably be okay with. Maybe even the Vigor Spore Worm too, but I was going to say the affectionate Indrik. It's so affectionate, it just wants to fight. Okay. It's so affectionate, it just kills things. And then we have the Vigor Spore Worm. I don't think we would... Your creatures can help cast the spell. Each creature you tap while casting the spell pays for 1 or 1 mana of that creature's color. So we are not going to have enough green to play the Siege Worm. That's not going to work. Utopia could be played, probably won't. I don't think anything else in green. So it's kind of perfect that our 2 green spells that we're splashing are expensive anyway. We can consider the Agent and the Artful Takedown. We're just going to take a look at what this deck looks like here. And then we have Altitude, the Stroke, Sprite, thing that makes things unblockable. Radical Idea, although that's probably fluff we're not going to end up needing. Unexplained thing is good. I like the Informants as well. Guild Summit with 6 guilds. I kind of am interested, to be honest, even though I think this effect is pretty narrow. Alright, well, we lost our internet. We're back now. Thankfully, it wasn't in the middle of a match. So, let's bring in the Watcher in the Mist again. These are expensive counter spells, but we'll put them in for now. I like the Murmuring Mystic. We'll see if we have the luxury of being able to play it. I want to play these cards that have this actual cool... We'll set these on the side because I want to be able to play them. I'm not sure it's going to happen. We need quite a few instants and sorceries to really make that work, so we can take a peek at all the ones we do have. So I guess that would make the... Yeah, that would make the Radical Idea much, much better, wouldn't it? Okay. And even the Maximize Altitude. So that would be the blue spells. All of them, as a matter of fact. We could do the red instead. But then we're kind of off the gate plan, aren't we? Maybe we're supposed to be. Maybe it doesn't matter if we play the gates. Because I kind of like the blue-red plan. It feels pretty good to me. And the black cards we have are cool, but they're not, like, insane. I feel like we can actually make this kind of blue-red theme go here. Because we have this, which likes that as well. The Minotaur, which plays off that ability. Boar is playable. I like this Sergeant with Mentor. Command the Storm, adding to our instant and sorcery count, and then I guess Book Devourers aren't crazy, but fine. And this would be a deck? No, we want the Mage, I guess, too, but do we even have... We don't have, like, pump effects, really. Ionize we would play just as another instant sorcery, same with Hypothesizzle. And then we Dragonauts. And the Electromancer does actually make quite a bit of sense here. So, oh yeah, I was trying to make a pile of cards that synergize with... So we would have 5 cards that synergize with playing instants and sorceries. It's not bad. And then this one too, we want, definitely. And not going to do the Chromatic Lantern. So, and then we could do the Glaive of the Guild Pact, but we would only be playing 3 Guild Gates because we're not going to play green, which, yeah, we're not splashing for the green, I don't think, with this build. But I actually kind of like this build. I like that it has a plan. We do have to make quite a few cuts, though. So let's figure out what they are. We probably only want to cut one creature, and you cast this card from your graveyard. Yeah, so basically all Jumpstart works remarkably well with your bonus effect stuff. Definitely. So that makes sense. Beam Splitter Mage is pretty underwhelming in here. We don't really have any synergy at all with it. Guild Summit's out. At least that's an easy cut. That's not happening. So it's probably the mage we're cutting because it's a hard to cast bear. That kind of does make sense. I like the little bird maker though. Wish we had more draw card effects. We have Hypothesizzle, and that's basically it. We have 12. We probably can get away with 10. I don't know if the devious cover-ups are worth it. I'm not really afraid that we're going to mill ourselves out, so we can probably get rid of those. I guess this brings us down to 9 instants and sorceries, because Capture Sphere is an enchantment. But then we only have to make 2 more cuts. So, could be we cut the Disdainful Stroke. That actually is pretty sensible, because Disdainful Stroke's more of a sideboard card anyway, and I guess we'd rather play on Ionize, hit anything. A little harder to cast, like I said, but perfectly acceptable. I think we are going to play 17 lands. I don't see a ton of reasons with all the Surveil that we have to not do that. Wish we had more evasion. We are evasion light. We have a sprite. The Adept is a way to get past later. I guess Field can do some damage. Can peck away at them, but these are little dudes. Leapfrog, I guess, is evasive Dragonaut, so 2, 3. This helps, so that's 4. I'll count that as evasive. Watcher in the Mist, evasive, definitely. So 5. Okay. I'm not blown away by this deck, quite frankly, but it's kind of, I feel like, the most interesting build we have. Mostly because I think we have enough synergy to make it work. Problem is we do have to make one more cut. And I'm not sure what that is, because we need our jumpstart spells. And this actually, I think, is totally fine in the deck anyway. So we need, I don't want to cut a creature though either. So I suppose we do cut an instant or sorcery, but I don't know which one. Kind of like them all now. Could cut the Capture Sphere, but that brings us down to a Hypothesis will Command the Storms as removal. I guess this is kind of removal too. Maybe I just cut the Capture Sphere. It doesn't thematically fit in with what we do, though it is a pretty good card. I'd rather have instants and sorceries, because this leaves us with 8, which I think is kind of the minimum we want to play for all of our synergy cards. And it leaves us with 15 creatures, which is probably where you want to be at too. So I think this is the build. We can play the Izzet Guildgate as well. But since we're probably not doing the... Where'd it go? It disappeared? We had an equipment. Oh, the glaive. There it is. We could do the Dimir Guildgates too, and then you can't play these as colorless lands, can you? Just as a means to play Glaive of the Guild Pack? That seems a bit foolish. But the issue sort of is, I would like the card in our deck because, like I said, the bodies that we have are not that good. And that is an actual dilemma. But I probably just run it like this, I suppose. Yeah, I think this is it. All right. So, bring in our Guildgate and do an even split and call it a deck, I think. Yep. All right. So, Izzet spells. And then we've got some sideboard counter spells and nothing in red to sideboard, really. Let me make sure I'm not overlooking this. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Beam Splitter Mage, if you control one or more other creatures that spell could target. So basically it works with Maximize Altitude. That's 1. We could bounce it and bounce something else. Doesn't seem very good. We could kill it and something else we control. That doesn't seem very good. We could switch its power and toughness with like 4 things. Only Beam Splitter, so it doesn't even work with Invert. It's not going in, is basically what it comes down to here. So, all right, this is it. I wish I could comfortably switch our mana base into playing Glaive of the Guild Pact. I'm just really not comfortable doing that, especially since we are, once again, the instant and sorcery spell deck. So we really want to maximize all of the things we can get off of that. All right, this is it. We'll see you round 1. All right, we're in round 1. It's sealed. I don't know if this is a draw or play format, so I'm going to draw because we're not aggro. And if we're playing against aggro, then we can switch into a different plan. We're going to keep this, despite not having blue mana. 1 mana, 2/2. Whenever you surveil, put a +1/+1 counter on it. As long as it has 3 or more +1/+1 counter on it, it can attack as though it didn't have defender. That's pretty good. Okay. As long as you surveil, yep, death touch, and it can draw cards and such. All right. No blue mana yet. That card's insanely good. At common. Surveil 2, draw 2 for 3. Granted, you take 2 damage, but that's incredibly good. So opponent's going to draw 3 cards, and we can do not a one thing about it. Alright, still no blue mana, unfortunately. That card's good too. Alright, still no blue mana, and now we have to discard. So I guess we'll discard the Radical Idea. Alright. So opponent's going to hit us for at least 3 and then draw another card. So I guess we'll discard a... discard a... Electromancer. Alright, we'll take 3. Opponent will draw another card. Got a blue mana, so we'll play a Dimir Informant because it can block a Whisper Agent. So let's see here. Do we want to keep those? No blue mana, but if I keep the Electrostatic Field, I think we... Do we keep them both is the question. We need another blue mana to eventually cast Watcher in the Mist, but Until then we can cast, well, we can't cast the Book Devourer either. But next turn I could play the Electrostatic Field and leave up a counter spell. Maybe that's better. We'll leave them both on top. Unfortunately, the switch power and toughness with invert doesn't work particularly well against the Phantasm because of the +1/+1 counters. So opponent's gonna kill us? Alright, we'll go to game 2 here. Oh, we're not dead yet? I was kind of hoping we were at this point. In the Suffering. Yeah, we don't have to show them any more cards. Alright. There's nothing that gets us out of that spot, so we'll just go ahead and go to game 2. Do we want to stick to the same deck? I mean, we don't really have like an Omega backup deck plan. I think our main deck is fine. We just sort of gotta, you know, draw the right color early so we can play spells. That kind of makes sense to me. Let's run her back here. I think we can still be on the draw, actually. I wasn't blown away by their speed. They're certainly not an aggro deck, so I think it's fine. That card's good. Silent Dart. Okay. So we can play the Wee Dragonauts. They could kill it with the Dart next turn. Or we can play the Informant. Guess we'll go Informant first. Electrostatic Field and Rubblebelt Boar. Both of these are fine, actually, so we'll leave those both on top. Next turn we're going to play the Murmuring Mystic, so I guess it doesn't matter the order here. Alright. Well, we could do the Boar now instead. It actually puts more pressure on the board. And then they can Silent Dart our Boar, actually. This is probably fine, to tell the truth. Because I think I'd much rather them kill that than my Wee Dragonaut. Since we have the evasion and all that. Next turn we can actually go Wee Dragonaut plus the Electrostatic Field. And then I can follow up with Murmuring Mystic and leave up Unexplained Disappearance, rather. So I kind of like, oh, well, never mind. Looks like we lost out on our Murmuring Mystic plan. So I think that we just go Wee Dragonauts and leave up Unexplained Disappearance. To me, it seems too dangerous. I could have played the Mountain and gone Static Field Dragonaut there, but I'd much rather leave up the Disappearance to protect our Dragonaut, because Dragonauts to me strikes me as one of our more important win cons. So we get in with the Informant, play the Wee Dragonauts, and pass. And we'll pass the turn. Alright, we'll discard our mountain. Which means, I guess I wish I'd played that instead of the fourth island, but that's alright. I guess technically we could unexplained difference our own Informant in a pinch too, to just surveil 3 times. Not terrible. You're going to make a copy of it. I would have to lose my electrostatic field, or I can unexplain disappearance and bounce it. But they can replay it. I think we do that anyway. We miss out on some damage, but they don't get a copy. I think we do it. We miss out on damage, but we get to surveil. I don't have to lose my electrostatic field. Book Devourer. The problem is we'd have to discard it, which is quite the dilemma. I think we keep it though, and that I guess means that I'm gonna have to not play my electrostatic field. Okay. To me, the Book Devourer seems more important since it's one of our highest end cards in the deck here. Alright, we'll get in there. And pass. So they replay the rats, and then I guess they can discard. So technically, I guess they can make us discard our hand anyway, can't they? Yep, it looks like they are. So we lose everything. I guess they lose a quasi-duplicate. They have to trade a quasi-duplicate and just settle for a burglar rat, which I guess isn't so bad for us, but okay. That's a pretty reasonable card as well. Leapfrog, that's a good one. Okay, kill our thing. Get to look at the top of their thing to set up their thing. So I'd prefer to not use Command the Storm on that. Ooh, that's a good one at least. So we'll get in for 5, and I guess next turn could get in for 5 again. Potentially. Use Drake to draw a card. So, guess that we Command Storm and then get in for 4 here. All right. They bounce our thing. They surveil. We get in for 1 whole point of damage and then pass. All right, they play a huge thing. They have 2 creatures in the graveyard. Hit us for 3. Ooh, so we go. Discard any card. Okay, so we go Sergeant. Land. Discard the Leapfrog and get in there. No reach, right? Hope not. Alright. Cool. That was a good draw. Wow, that maximizing altitude played really well. Just won us the game. So yeah, they have a lot of... Well, they don't have a lot of discard, but that game they certainly played quite a bit. We have the card advantage stuff, though. I'm not, like, too worried about it. Yeah, like we have stuff we're either willing to discard or don't mind discarding. And we can draw cards, so I feel like we can counteract single discard effects reasonably well. I mean, Disdainful Stroke hits a few things. Devious Cover-Up obviously hits some things, but I kind of like everything else we're doing more. I'd rather be able to just kill things if I have to. All right, we'll run it back. They want to play first, which is pretty interesting, I would think. Because neither of us are aggressive, so I'm a little bit curious why they want to be on the play. It's not a huge deal, but... I mean, they do have that Phantom, but we have, like, ways to deal with that as well. I at least thought we did. I thought we did. We'll have to find out. Alright, let's get that sprite down. It's basically mill anything that's not a mountain. That's not true, actually. Card's great. It's got to be one of the strongest commons in the set. Is that overdoing it? That does seem that strong, though, right? I'm not crazy. Surveil, draw 2. I mean, that's infinitely better than Sign in Blood. Granted, it costs another mana, but I should say infinitely better than Divination. Like, having to pay the life is not that big of a deal. So let's attack. This sprite is great, too, though. That card is really good. So let's Surveil. Book Devour. Well, we're keeping that on top. So we'll get in for our 1 point of damage here, and then we'll jam a Smelt Ward Minotaur. Then next turn we can go field plus adept. Pretty good. Flying, Death Touch, Hexproof. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, so we'll go Adept plus Electrostatic Field and pass. Alright, taking 3. No plays. Unexplained disappearance. So that's pretty good. So we can disappearance the predator, make it so this can't block, get in for 4, surveil. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, it's got, never mind. Hexproof turns out to be pretty good, huh? Maybe we leave this as a protection spell, which means what we should do is play a land, make the Minotaur not able to be blocked, and then attack. Yeah, we'll leave that on top. It's a good card. Alright, and we'll pass. Alright. Copying that. Yeah, it's pretty strong. Bouncing that. So, looks as though we have to bounce this so we don't get hit for an additional 5 here. And we want to do it now because we want to deal them damage. Oh yeah, we have that on top. Now I guess we want to bottom that, or graveyard it, because we kind of need to land more now. These Book Devourers seem like something we need. So we'll have to take quite a bit of damage here. Didn't get the land, unfortunately. So I guess that means that we... Can't really race. Can't make 2 things unblockable. Can play the field and make 1 thing unblockable. Doesn't currently seem like a winnable race, does it? Um, do I surveil? I don't know what I can do about flying Death Touch Hexproof, I guess. I could play this, but we don't have instants and sorcery, so it's kind of pointless. I can make this unblockable or this. We probably make the Sprite unblockable because we need to find something, and I don't know what. I guess we leave... Can I leave that on top? Book Devourer doesn't win us the game. What am I looking for? That's the question. A Watcher in the Mist. That can block it at least. That's about it. A Leapfrog doesn't even do it because they don't have the instant or sorcery. Command Storm doesn't do anything. So basically there's one card that makes me survive a little bit longer. Is that right? That seems rocky at best. So they smash back with everything, and then I have to leave back a Sprite to not die. I guess we keep the land so I can play the Devour. I'm kind of at a loss of what I'm supposed to do here. Am I supposed to graveyard this? I guess I graveyard this because it's not going to, just based on this board, disregard the cards in my opponent's hand. That's not going to win me the game. It's too slow. So I guess I have to do this. And we have to draw that Watcher in the Mist, basically. But they can just do this again. Man, it turns out Quasi-Duplicate is really, really strong. So invert. No, can't cast it. I can play the Mystic and then invert, though. So I guess that does something. Okay. So we cast invert, and we'll switch the... You can do it with your dudes and your opponent's dudes, huh? That's kind of cool, actually. Switch the power and toughness of each of up to 2. So you could turn this into a 5/1, and I see. I guess we do this, and then we do... maybe... this. Yeah, I guess this can't block. I feel like I might not be reading invert right, but I guess we'll find out. Okay, it did what I thought it would do, so I guess that's good. So I can't even double block the predators because then I just die. That's too bad. Play a Book Devourer and die to some flyers. Get in for 3 points of damage. All right. See you in round 2. All right, we're in round 2. Our opponent's choosing to play first. We're going to mull this. 1 lander. I guess we'll keep this. Pretty bad hand. We'll keep that on top. First Strike Mentor. Yeah, it's a pretty solid 2-drop, that's for sure. Yeah, it's pretty strong. So you're gonna get to buff your mentor with a mentor. Pretty prime. Alright. We continue to do nothing in passing. So hopefully they play a spell, we can counter it, and then we'll play a boar to block a Blade Instructor, and then we'll command the Storm on the Stalwart. And then we'll eventually play this Book Devourer. So, geez, they would have had a nasty little turn there. Oh, they skipped their attack? They screwed up bad there. So we'll play the boar. Okay, they kill our thing. Their deck looks absolutely insane. Absolutely insane so far. Just 3-color aggro, making it work like it ain't no thing. Alright, so we'll command the storm on this guy. I guess we'll do it on our turn in case they have a trick. Nice. Alright, take some more damage. Needed a land there, unfortunately didn't get it, so we'll go Dragonaut plus Adept. I guess we could double block a Hammer Dropper. It's not the worst. Alright, so now we'll just block nothing. Take far too much damage. Oh wait, we have to block. Nice. Alright. So we just die next turn, is that right? We just die, huh? Alright. Alright, so just completely wrecked in game 1. What do I want to do out of side? I don't know. I guess we're playing first, that's for sure. Because they are pretty aggressive, so... could do our Capture Sphere. It's not bad against a Mentor, I suppose. Maybe cut the Ionize because it's too slow? Sure. Anything else? Nope, that's it. Alright, so we play first because they're aggro. We keep. I don't think, did we see a non-mentor card out of them? Yeah, we did. Just a Sky Knight Legionnaire. Also an incredibly powerful card. Did we see a weak card out of them? I don't think that we did. Oh yeah, I forgot. On top of all that, they even missed out on wasn't it like 6 points of damage? Not this is how badly we got crushed. Our opponent doesn't even have to attack us for 6. No, I'm not even going to attack you. I'll just kill you I'll kill you a turn later. No problem. Okay. So let's surveil here. Do we want a land? Yeah, we kind of do actually. But doesn't that make our informant worse? A little bit. Keeping both of those on top. Leaving that on top still. I don't really want to capture Sphere Legionnaire. I'd rather do something bigger. Okay. So we'll capture Sphere that. It taps it too, right? That's the important part. Yep. So I guess we'll swing first, then we'll play the Watcher in the Mist. Keeping the Boar on top. Still playing the Watcher in the Mist. If we have a land as our second card, we can draw that instead of the Boar right away. Perfect. So put this on top, put this on top. That way we can play the Book Devourer next turn. Double strike as long as you control a gate. Unfortunately for us, they have a gate. So we can play the Book Devourer. We can also search up some removal spells. We have the sorcery. We have the max. We could find maximize altitude plus like whatever radical idea hypothesical. Yeah, we'd find that instead of the command the storm. Could do that. It's actually an instant speed spell too, but Book Devourer is a pretty big gain for us here. If we do that instead, which means I may just want to get in for 3. I could just do the invent. I think we'll play the big thing though. Okay. Okay. So block double striker here. Um, hmm. So I can play the boar, pump the watcher. Invert doesn't do all that much right now. Can play the Devourer to block here, since I can't do invent anyway, or I can invent at the end of their turn. Can't really comfortably block though. Technically I can take 10 points of damage and live if I wanted to attack with a Night Veil Sprite. I guess I can do that. Which means I could leave up the invent. And that lets me find maximize altitude plus hypothesical, which lets me kill their flyer at the very least. Is there another sorcery I can find? Doesn't look like it. So it's basically the altitude, which I suppose would let me get in for, but appears to be lethal. So maybe we just do that. Is it lethal though? We get in for 4, they go to 8. Next turn, I find this and that. It's not lethal. Well, oh, wait. This plus the thing is 3 bonus, so that's still 1 shy, isn't it? That's a dilemma. Well, I think the issue is we have to kill their guys. So we probably just do the invent, rather. So let's just get in for a 4 here. We're searching anyway, but we don't need any more lands. So we can just get that out of our deck, I suppose, make our draws a little bit more exciting. So then we'll pass. We're going to do the invent. So we take 10. No play. It's interesting. Invent. So find some stuff here. All right, we'll see you in round 3. All right, round 3, we've got to keep here. And our opponent is playing first. All right, we'll go leapfrog here. Oh, just Vraska. Okay, cool. All right, guess we attack Vraska. So I guess we have to kill that. Okay, so we go Electromancer. Disappearance on this. Yeah, we'll leave that on top. And then we'll kill Vraska. Well, pretty surprised my opponent didn't just kill the Leapfrog and leave their Vraska alive. It seems like it would have been way better. Wait, is that not possible? No, it is. Pretty strange. Certainly worked out way better for us. So, I guess we go Storm here. And then we make it so the thing can't block. And we get in for 7. So, same as before. Oh. Guess that's even better. Well, is it though? So we can go Radical Idea. Instead of Command Storm, still play the Dimir Informant. They can't pump this anyway, is that right? It's true. Potentially get a land, or no, I guess we just kill this thing. We'll just kill it. Get in again. Okay, so they're going to fight our Leapfrog, I'm guessing, or... Makes sense. So we go... Ooh, that's a good draw. So I guess we just jam that and then pass. Three damage to each opponent. You gain 3. Put in your graveyard from your library. Oh, so they're just... That card's not that good, so I'm pretty happy they're playing that. Alright, so we can play the Hypothesis. Yeah, I guess we... But, oh yeah, we totally do. What am I talking about? So you can't block. We get a dude. We draw 2. Probably discard the Radical Idea to just kill your Indrik. Maybe I want to discard something else. We'll discard the Radical Idea, just as good. Kill this. Alright. So we're playing against a Vraska deck. They showed us some fairly low curve stuff, but they're playing Creeping Chill, which is not a very good card. And they didn't play their Vraska properly, so I guess that helps. Other than that, they have some pretty good stuff. Hunted Witness is kind of a weird card to have in here, but maybe they have that sack a creature, destroy a creature card, and then it's much better. Sideboard, I mean, we can bring in this to counterspell more stuff, but I'm not really feeling it. We could Disdainful Stroke of Vraska or an Indrik. It's actually not bad, but I'm kind of okay with what we've got, to be honest. We'll keep this. Not the best hand I've ever seen, but it's keepable. A locket. Alright. So I guess we can hold up our counterspell. That's not bad. Ooh. Got our Murmuring Mystic, which is probably one of the better cards in our deck. I assume. Well, at least we get to counter that. That's cool. And next turn we can even go field and leave up Unexplained Disappearance. Maybe we need to protect something. Or if we just want to start making flyers. Either of those work for me. Alright. Good news about the bats are they're a 3-1. So, yeah, we just go Informant here, because it's better use of mana, and then leave up the Unexplained Disappearance. So lands can go to the graveyard, everything else stays. Graveyard, graveyard. Alright, doing your job, Dimir Informant. Doing your job. And then we'll get in with the Mystic. Leave up the Unexplained Disappearance. And actually we can bounce our own Informant to make a token, surveil, block the bat. All of that is pretty good. Leave the Electromancer on top. Another bat. Well, that's good news for us, I guess. Alright, so we have the Electromancer now. We can Informant first. Put that in our graveyard. Can leave the Leapfrog up there. Play an Electromancer. Well, can attack with the Mystic first, I suppose. Alright, so they can fight our Electromancer. We'll go field, Leapfrog, pass. And probably can just sandbag lands in case we get a jumpstart spell we want to cast. Looks like a Convoke spell. Alright, 5/5 Trampler. We'll go Boar, And I guess that we can pump the Leapfrog. It's got most potential damage. And we're certainly willing to trade it for a Trampler, so I guess that's okay. Attacking with everything. Well, we'll just block like this, I think. Guess we can... Yeah, I guess we can actually... That does kind of make sense, actually. Alright, so they'll deal an additional 9 damage to us and kill us. Alright, go to game 3 here. Do we want to bring in more counter spells? I guess we can do the Capture Sphere. And we can cut something. I don't think we'll do the Devious Cover-Ups. So we'll just do a Capture Sphere and we'll cut... What are we going to cut? What are we going to cut? It's probably a creature. Maybe a Book Devourer. I don't know. Because I feel like this still wins the game. Informant's kind of important so we don't get flooded and find spells. Mystic's an important win con. Sergeant could be a cut. Yeah, maybe we cut that instead. But even though I kind of like the haste, but we'll do Devourer and we'll cut the Sergeant instead, I think. All right. I feel like the Minotaur is actually pretty good too. So we don't have to play first, actually. They're not aggressive. All right. So I'm not going to play around the Vraska or whatever. We'll just play a Minotaur. We Dragonauts are good, but we want to get that Murmuring Mystic online, I think. It's a little more permanent. It's also better use of mana. So, we'll do the Murmuring Mystic. We're going to block. Okay, so they had what they needed. So, ooh, that was a good rip. So now we can play that instead of the wee Dragonauts. And we can play it into a Book Devourer too, which is kind of nice. Wait, if they have the Affectionate Indrik though, Could be a problem. I guess it's still the play. So don't need a land, and we'll keep the capture sphere. Okay. Alright, didn't want to see that, but there it is. So, one card left in their hand. Hopefully it's not something that can stop this Book Devourer. I guess if they attack, we just assume that, well, can I even afford to take it? Let's see, 7 plus 9. I guess we take it, because I don't want to die to the pump spell. And we just, pretty safe to assume they have the plus 9 effect, so that's fine. So now we have 7 mana, which means we can pass, leave up Capture Sphere, and Ionize. Wait. What? Why would it not stop on their begin combat step? That's really unfortunate that it did that. I always have a stop on that. How did that disappear? Why did that disappear at such a clutch time? Why would it do such a thing? Why would it do such a thing? That's so harsh. Hmm. And no, we don't want to use that. So I guess we'll do the leapfrog here. So it's just a 3/3. Probably still counter it. Okay. Guess we'll do this first, see what's coming. Graveyard that, top this, get in there. And no, don't use that. Alright, see you in round 4. Round 4, this is a keep. And opponent is also playing first. So everybody's played first except me. That's a little concerning. Alright. Sprite's a great draw. Death Touch, all creatures able to block it do so. That card's great. So let's draw our card. We'll go land, get in with the Sprite. Surveil. Fifth land lets us play the Watcher, so we'll keep that. And I guess we're playing the Informant. And if it's 2 lands, well, if it's 2 lands, it lets us go Watcher right into Book Devourer, so we probably actually do that too. Yeah, I guess we do. So next turn, we're just going to leave up Ionize. Uh-oh. That spells trouble. So I guess we have to block that and lose our guy forever. 2 cards left in their hand. Alright. So we can go land and get in, and I think the plan is probably still to keep the land. And we'll leave up Lionize, yeah, Ionize. And next turn we go Watch from the Mist into Book Devourer, I guess. No play is pretty unfortunate. So I guess well, does it do us any good to leave that on top? Not really, but we'll do it anyway. It can't actually block the assassin is the main issue here, so I guess we'll play this. It's just one of our more important cards is the reason I don't want to get rid of it, but we can get rid of the land. And yeah, I guess we'll keep that on top. Creatures you control gain Death Touch, entire creature control fights. Alright, so they trade their 1/1 for our 3/4 and deal 4 more to us. Okay. So, suppose I can play the Dragonauts and leave up the Ionize, and then I have to 2-for-1 myself to kill a 2/2, and I can pump. It's not great, but I think I'm going to do that rather than play the Book Devourer. Because there's also a chance I can just Ionize. So I'll have to leave my Sprite back, but I think ultimately they have 1 card left in their hand. It's probably worth it to try and do this. Especially if they play a spell pre-combat. So I think that's pretty helpful. Alright, so we're going to lose both of our guys rather than lose my Book Devourer. I mean, I'm thankful they're not pumping their guy since we would be dead now. Huh. That's tough. If I don't block and they have a pump, then we die. If I do block and they have a pump, we probably die. So I guess I block. Well, I wish I could do something about that, but as it turns out, I can't, because I don't have enough mana. So, kind of wish they didn't have a pump spell there. It would have worked out a lot better for us. I guess we wait until they pump their Dissident before using Command Storm. We're still one shy of being able to do the Ionize plus the Command the Storm here. I love that they just absolutely refuse to use the card's ability. It's like, no, I will never, even if it means lethal, I'm not going to kill you. I'd rather just not. Alright, so gonna need something other than a land, but got a land, so we die. Alright, sounds good. So we'll go to game 2, and I guess that will, they don't really seem that aggro yet, once again. Don't seem that aggressive. Seems like something I could beat. Once again, I guess if they just, you know, didn't have that, I think we would have been fine. So, anything we want to do different? Capture Sphere again for their Death Touch guy. I think Counterspell's good. What we've already got. I'm pretty happy with what we've got, actually. I feel as though we could absolutely win this, too. So we'll be on the draw. Got a mulligan that. Want to keep it, but probably not a great idea. If it had 2 lands, too, it'd be such a killer hand. It's so synergistically good, but I think we'd best mulligan. I understand it's quite a bit worse, but it does actually have land, so I suppose we keep. What's the other thing you can do? It's a sweet card, actually. Very versatile. I don't know about in this format, though. I feel like we haven't seen that many artifacts and enchantments. Maybe I'm wrong, but not that I can recall. So I guess we keep both of these. And the nice thing about Electromancer, well, if we had more blue, it would actually be true. But because we don't, I can't play the Electromancer into the Command the Storm, unfortunately. So we'll block. Certainly willing to trade a Informant for whatever. Sure. So I think I'm going to play the Electromancer. It means we can't leave up our Ionize, but it also makes our spells cheaper, so I kind of like it. So I think we're just going to block the Centipede, and then we'll take the Vigilance guy. That way we can... Well, we can't cast 2 spells, I guess. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Okay. So, they can pump their shade. Three times. Might just use the Electromancer to block the Centipede. Well, that's not very good either, is it? Oh, it takes 2 mana to pump the shade. Okay. Fair enough. We'll just pass. I guess we're just gonna blow up whatever. I guess we trade the Electromancer for Centipede. Whatever they put the counter on, we Command Storm. Okay. That seems reasonable. So they want to put it on that. I think we'll Command the Storm that then. So they can only pump it twice right now. Alright, well, they had the goods, and they did the thing. So I guess that means we'll just... Oh, well, that's too bad. Guess we still just snap do it. And then, yeah, well, we're land away from the Book Devourer. I guess that's good. And then we're can get on the Murmuring Mystic plan, which is not bad. Okay. So 2 cards left in their hand. Like I said, we're land away from Book Devourer. We have more cards in hand, which is nice. We Dragonauts, well, that doesn't quite do it. So I guess we play the Mystic and then pass. Alright. Good thing into good thing. So, I guess we're just hoping they run out of gasoline here. So we'll play the Devourer, get ourselves a blocker and an attacker. And then next turn I guess we can play Dragonauts plus leave up Ionize. That's not bad. Alright, so they play a big fatty. The Sprite. So Sprite does more digging. The Dragonauts makes better use of mana, but maybe a better win con, especially against this at some point. Guess we play the Sprite and we're gonna double block the Siege Worm. And we're leaving up Ionize in case they get something nasty, I suppose. Well, at least we trade a 4-5 for a 5-5. That's a good trade. So counter whatever this is. So let's surveil because we need to find something here. Yeah, it's a great one. I haven't figured out quite what we're getting yet. But all in good time. Hypothesisal. Yeah. And I guess a maximized altitude is legitimately our only sorcery, so that's okay though. So we'll take our medicine here. Sacrifice a creature, put a counter on it, gains menace. Alright, well, that's a problem. You can only do it as a sorcery. I guess that's good. So, guess we just chill. I'm not attacking with the sprite because I may need to double block that Necrolisk. So, we invent. They're gonna get one of our cards here, but we gotta do it. I mean, the good news is we still net something, and they lost a creature. The bad news is it's not as good as I would have liked. So now we don't want to find hypothesize because that's oh, so we just get the two. Yeah, that actually is fine. So we just get our two jumpstart cards. That's actually pretty good because now it doesn't matter what they get. We get another use out of it. They're just going to make us discard a radical idea, which is fine. We didn't really lose that much from it. And we still can draw a hypothesis also. It worked out. So we'll block this because it's a bigger issue. Passwall Adept, not bad, but we need something spicier. So we'll discard a land. Play the... Well, I guess we surveil then. Keep that. Play the Adept and pass. So we'll go to 2. So we'll go Informant first. Or maybe we were supposed to do Sprite first. Not sure. Guess we get in. At this point, we can't really afford to stay back. We gotta try and kill him as quickly as possible here. Alright, well, I was kind of hoping that they didn't draw a removal spell, but they drew a removal spell, so I guess we'll see you in the last round. All right, fifth and final round. We'll keep. And once again, opponent is playing first, so I'm just going to assume everybody knows something I don't know, and it's a ultra-fast format, even in sealed. That's the only conclusion I can come to when every single opponent wants to play first, without exception. Hey, that was a good draw. So it probably makes more sense to do the Minotaur, because the Barging Sergeant potentially better with the Minotaur. Well, yeah, I guess it is. If we can get rid of a blocker, getting in with the hasty guy that also pumps the dude seems pretty strong. I guess it depends on what they play here, though. Oh, just a locket? I mean, the Sergeant is also quite good with the Dragonaut, too, pumping that. Alright, so we'll get in for 2, and the choice is Smeltward Minotaur versus Wee Dragonaut. I think we're going to go Dragonaut because blockers. I'm going to assume they don't have a flying blocker, which makes the Dragonaut play slightly better, especially if I guess they play a creature I need to kill, or even if they do play a flyer, then I can at least just command the Stormette and pump my dude. Dowser of Lights, alright. So we'll kill that and get in. So as long as whatever the creature they play here has 4 toughness, we can at least play the Sergeant and attack with it. And actually, if they play something that has 3 toughness, we can play the Sergeant, pump the Electromancer on attacks, and get in with everything, which is also pretty good. Alright, opponent goes Darkblade Agent. And Passwall Adept, sure. So we're going to do the Barging Sergeant, and we're going to pump the Electromancer. So they'll have to trade here, and then I guess take 4 and go to 9. We'll pass. Alright, 5/4 that gets bonuses and stuff. Seems pretty strong. So hopefully we just rip a spell so this Minotaur does some work for us, but nope, just a land. Okay, so we play a Minotaur and we pass. Alright, we'll take a boatload of damage here. So, need something. That works. So we go... Disappearance on the... Guess we do it on this because this costs them more mana. Yep, it's definitely staying on top. Right, unfortunately they had just extremely good things there. So that's going to be a big problem. It also means we don't have lethal next turn, so pretty bad news for us there. So I guess we'll just go land go. And that leaves us with 8 mana next turn, which means I guess we can make both of our guys unblockable. So still potentially in position to win this. Alright, so we go land, pass while adept, make 2 things unblockable. I guess we can attack first here. That's too bad for us. So we could rip the, this would actually be a good time to rip the invert. Because then we could actually flip our adept and make it unblockable and win. Could also rip the... No, I was going to say the Rubble Belt Boar, but we don't have enough mana to do everything we need to do there. Command the Storm. Well, it does let us kill the Sphinx to not die, so I guess that's good. Let's see here. Can I kill them? I'm close, I'm not quite there. Like, I can command the Storm to make something not be able to block and get in, but it is simply not enough. Quite simply not enough. So, I guess we just get in with the Minotaur. Alright, so we get in with the Minotaur, make it unblockable. And then the plan is to command the Storm, the Sphinx on our opponent's turn, so they don't get to immediately reap whatever value from that Surveil. And then, I guess, kill them on our turn with an unblockable Adept and Minotaur. And hope that is good enough. Yeah, City Watch Sphinx is pretty nuts. Card is sweet. So they dump one and leave another on top. And then, yeah, we basically have to get there here. So let's attack first, I suppose. We're going to go for it. Alright, attack with both. And we'll make unblockable. Alright, got there, sweet. So, blue-black, control-ish sort of thing. Maybe we bring in the Capture Sphere. It works pretty well against that Sphinx. I didn't want to run this card because we already have had quite a few issues, at least from what I've seen. We've had quite a few issues drawing the spells. I think we'll cut a Book Devourer, which cuts us down to less creatures, which is a problem, but it does feel like we need the Capture Sphere. Capture the Sphere, rather. Capture Sphere, whatever it is. So I guess we'll bring it in. And I'm going to assume opponent wants to play first again. They do. This is a keep. Alright, they go Island Go. Ooh, Nightfall Sprite's a good draw. Very, very useful 2-drop. I'm really a big fan of that card. I'm actually trying to think how high on the pecking order it is in a pack during draft. I feel like it's quite high. It is a very useful card. So if they attack with the Adept into our Sprite, we're going to block. That's why it's a 1-2. No attacks. No plays. They must have a play. Ooh, Darkblade Agent. That's a strong one. Alright. So we'll surveil first. Lands are all going to the graveyard. We'll go land, pass while adept, pass. I can't recall all of the instant speed surveil cards. The only one that immediately comes to mind is the bounce spell. So I think I am going to block the Darkblade Agent. And hope they don't have instant speed surveil. Uh-oh. Bane of my existence here. Alright, so we go Informant. And we're digging for, I don't know, something that can do something against that Predator. But I'm not sure what we can do. It's going to be a tough one. Yeah, I suppose we can keep both of those. So we got to dig up an answer for this ASAP, huh? No attacks. I like that. I like that a lot. Alright, so we just go land, go. Leave up the Ionize and the Command the Storm. So you don't, it's not that you've cast a spell with Surveil, it's that you have Surveilled. So quite a bit different. Yeah, we can't see number 2. That's too much for me. Okay, so six lands, Radical Idea, can Surveil and attack as well. We'd probably do that. Maybe we draw first. Another land, alright. Get in with the Sprite here. Electrostatic Field. I feel like it doesn't do that much, but we'll keep it because it actually, I guess, does work with our Radical Idea and our Command the Storm with hand, in our hand rather, so I suppose. Alright, opponent gets in with his dude. So we go land, electrostatic field, attack with the Sprite and the Informant. Guess we'll surveil first. Ooh, want that on top. And then we'll make this unblockable. Alright. And we'll pass, and we can radical idea to get that thing into our hand. Deal a damage to our opponent. So with the invert too, I can deal way more damage. Hypothesizzle gives us some card advantage as well. So I suppose we attack like with these three. So I think what we're going to do is get in with these three. Invert, because we could actually dig up altitude. We already have the hypothesis. Oh, we don't need another Command the Storm. Yeah, to me, I mean, we could get the Unexplained Disappearance too. To me, it makes more sense. Killing that and tapping that, that's actually okay. I think in response we invert. So we invert these two. And we get in for 7. Okay. Okay. So, gotta find something here. That'll do. Guess we do this now. So, no discard. We'll go land and Dragonauts. Two ritual of sets, huh? Interesting. Alright. So let's go to game 3. Well, I guess it's not over yet, is it? We could still draw. Yeah, that actually does work. Crazily enough. Being at 4 life has some perks. They've also been stuck on 4 mana like the whole game. So I have to command the Storm my own Book Devourer in order to give my Leapfrog flying to block the Nightveil Predator. Wow. That's kind of crazy. Hexproof is good. Alright, so they had the thing that they needed to win. So I guess we'll die. Anything we want to do out of sideboard. We can bring in more counter spells since they didn't do that much this game. Yeah, maybe we ditch the capture the sphere or capture sphere for that. Well, capture sphere is probably still useful, but we'll bring in this because they have the multi-board wipe, which is actually pretty good against us. We could do the stroke instead. Yeah, everything we're scared of is 4 mana. So that kind of actually makes sense. I think that's it though. Alright, we don't want to play first. And we want a mulligan. This one will keep. Basically, bottom any lands. Opponent's mulling to 5. Keep that. So they went into aggro mode, which makes sense, actually. Because when you're in a rush, you kind of have to. Alright, so we untap, we play the Dragonauts, and then we pass. So they have 2 cards left in their hand. So I think we just go Boar, Pump Dragonaut, and get in for 3. I like the Fresh-Faced Recruit, though. That's a good card. For an aggressive build. 2 mana, 2/1, first strike on your turn. I mean, first strike on your opponent's turn is obviously relevant too, but that card actually kind of makes sense. I like it. Hammer Dropper, that's a big dude. Alright. Book Devour, so can't play that. Let's go Radical Idea. Watching the Mist, which I also cannot play. So we can get him with the Dragonaut. And I guess trade the Boar for the Hammer Dropper. Guess we block there. Alright. So, want to land here. Didn't get the land though. So, how close to death are they? So, altitude, ping, they go to 12. This pumps, so 3, 7. So, 8 damage. Do it again. 9, 12, 13. I think we have Xaxes lethal. Pump here goes to 4. This gets pumped. 7, 8. Do it from the graveyard. That's 5 plus 6, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, Xaxes lethal. Or did I do the math wrong? I did do the math wrong. So I'm 1 short. Uh-oh. Guess we still do it. I wish I could do math, though. So we just block the hammer dropper and then... Alright. So ended up going 2-3, pretty rotten record. Thought the deck was okay. Actually, I think it was pretty bad. We knew going into it was pretty bad. We opened our packs, we saw every single one of our rares was really just mediocre at best, unexciting. So we basically just played a deck because we had a lot of multicolored cards in Is It. We had a reasonable synergy plan, but it did not play very well. So overall, pretty unexciting pool. Quite frankly, I think we're lucky to get 2 victories. In Sealed, if you don't have good rares, you can just kiss your deck goodbye. Sealed is all about, did you open goodies? Then you will do good. Did you not open goodies? You're not going to do good. So a little bit different than Draft, where you can actually, you know, not get bomb rares, but still make a good, like, synergistic deck. So, hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back with some Guilds of Ravnica draft as soon as that drops, so we'll see you then.